AlUlaFM.
And I got with me on the ride our guest, Dr. Stephen Browne, Vice President, Wildlife and Natural Heritage at the Royal Commission for AlUla. We are going to be talking on Saudi Green Initiative and climate change. Dr. Browne, good to have you with us on our ride this evening on AlUlaFM.
Good to be here.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Busy 2 days at the climate conference here in Dubai. It's all wrapped up now by the final agreements, but I've done my bit.
I bet. God bless. So I won't take much of your time. Let's get to it. Let me start with this question. What initiatives are being undertaken by the Royal Commission for AlUla to address climate change and restore the power of nature's balance?
I mean, across the nature space, which is what I'll talk about, I guess our main contribution to climate change is our nature reserves. So as you probably know, we have 5 nature reserves in AlUla, contributing about 12,500 square kilometres. Those areas have been pretty degraded over the years, a lot of threats. And what we've done is we've established them as nature reserves, and we're now installing a whole range of different protection. And that protection is reducing the threats. And that threat historically was overgrazing from sheep and camels. And by reducing that grazing pressure, those threats, which means that the grasses now are coming back, bushes are starting to grow, and those plants, when they grow, they store an incredible amount of carbon, not just the leaves and the stems, but also in the roots. And then those roots put carbon into the ground. They then hold the soil together. And then also we're introducing animals, and those native species of animals will graze. They'll graze in a much more sustainable way. When they graze, they will obviously, the food passes through them. They'll do droppings. Those droppings will become carbon. They become locked into the soil as well. So more carbon is getting stored in that way. In addition to that, we're also planting a lot of trees. We have an ambition to plant about 32 million plants across the whole of AlUla, 10 million of which will be trees. And those trees obviously store a lot of carbon. When they grow, the wood is mostly made up of carbon and water, but that stores a lot of the carbon and reducing the impact that all the carbon in the atmosphere has had. And then we're restoring sort of nature's balance by restoring the plants, bringing back the animals, and then one day, all being well, we will hopefully reintroduce the Arabian leopard. Then we will have re-established and restored the whole ecosystem from the grasses all the way up to the top predators.
I mean, what can I say? God bless you guys. That's a lot of work, but you guys are on the right line, and that's great. So another question. What contribution does SGI, the Saudi Green Initiative, make to supporting climate change globally?
What it's done is it's taken the international agreements and conventions and it's made those applicable at the national level. So within Saudi Arabia, a whole load of a vision has been created around the ambitions of the country under the Saudi Vision 2030. So the environmental components sit under the Saudi Green Initiative. That vision has also provided the resources and has developed national targets. And then with us working towards those targets, we are then contributing in our own individual projects. So say, for example, in AlUla, we are going to plant 10 million trees, as I mentioned. But across the kingdom, various projects similar to AlUla are planting trees, and the combined national total will be 10 billion trees. Now, 10 billion trees is a huge number, obviously, and that's going to make a really big global impact. So what the Saudi Green Initiative is doing, it's providing us with that sort of the ambitions and the goals to go for, but it's sort of making us all work together. A moment ago, I described our ambitions for the nature reserves, how we're going to be doing what we're doing in AlUla. But if you think all around us, we have a number of other big projects, and we have a number of rural reserves. Now, those reserves all combined adds up to about 200,000 square kilometres, which is probably one of the biggest areas in the world under protection for wildlife. That's surely going to have a real global impact, and that will have a dramatic impact, a moderately dramatic impact on global climate change, and hopefully would help contribute across the nation, across the region, and globally.
All power to you and the team, and all the best in reaching out all your goals. Thank you very much, Dr. Browne, for being with us on the ride, and we appreciate your time.
No problem at all. Take care.
Have yourself a lovely day. You too. Thank you, sir.
AlUlaFM, the sound of Arabia.